Time starts right now.
Welcome into Jaguars Drive Time on a Thursday morning. Breaking news overnight. Head coach Urban Meyer has been let go. Offensive coordinator Darrell Bevel will serve as head coach for the rest of the season. And owner Shad Khan releasing a statement late last night that summarized, "I am bitterly disappointed to arrive at the conclusion that an immediate change is imperative for everyone. As I stated in October, regaining our trust and respect was essential. Regrettably, it did not happen, guys."
Yeah, the bitterly disappointed stands out to me.
It does.
Because Shad is always pretty even-keeled, and that lets you into where he's at. He went out boldly in January when he hired Urban Meyer and proclaimed him to be the guy. And so to be at this point, I mean, none of us could have thought we'd be at this point, 13 games into the season. But to his credit, and there's a lot of people out there that remember how long Gus was here and Dave Caldwell was here and they want to hammer him. We've all come to the conclusion that something had to change, and he did it now without regard to what people are going to say about him, apparently without regard to any of the financial consequences that people have been talking about, and we don't know what any of those are. But he went and did it, and he took bold action in defense of the franchise, and it's heartening to know that he saw what a lot of people saw, and that he took the action despite the fact that people are going to point their finger at him.
Yeah, it was time to take back his team. And I think the statement, I was up late last night trying to answer some questions for the Ozone, just trying to get my head around it. And the statement, bitterly disappointed and imperative that change had to be made in the same sentence, I thought summed everything up better than I could have.
Yeah.
So it felt like it had to be done. If you've known Shad at all, and fans feel like they know him, and I've had a chance to talk to him about things over the years, he does not take change on this front lightly. That's evidenced by 4 years with Gus, 4 years with Doug. To do this fast showed you how imperative, as he used, this was done. This is not Mike Mularkey after the first year where there were different circumstances and he was learning it. He looked at it and knew something had to be done.
Well, and I think I told you guys, at the Christmas party I was at over the weekend, people were asking. They had read the story about last weekend's issues, and I kept reminding people, hold on, he doesn't react, right? I mean, you or I react to the stock market going up or an issue in life. He has the long view on everything, and that's how he's become so successful. But there are moments where you have to act, and he did. And people who love this franchise should be heartened by the fact that even though it didn't go the way that he intended for it to go and that it quickly went south, he saw it, made the change, and he did it, let's be honest, because he's got a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because this is about Trevor Lawrence. To me, it was never about Urban Meyer. It was always about the quarterback. But that was not apparent until now.
Yeah, and everyone's asking what was the trigger point, what made it happen. I don't know exactly what it was, but I was on the yacht with Shad. Didn't talk to him one-on-one, but talked to him with a group. It was apparent then that he was trying to figure it out. This was not a quick trigger decision, but it was a decisive decision without question. But it was clear that he was trying to figure it out. When he was asked by the media about different things, people interpreted his comment that I'm not going to make a helter-skelter decision.
Right.
And there were fans who said, oh, he's not going to do anything. Well, I listened to him and I thought, this guy is trying to figure it out. Think about it. For a fan, it's easy to sit there on Twitter and say, oh, fire Urban Meyer. But for Shad, this is a major structural change that affects many people's lives. It affects the direction of the franchise. He had to make a measured decision quickly, and credit to him for getting it done in a timely manner. So now it's done. You rip the Band-Aid off and you move forward.
Well, and if I can emphasize something you just said, it impacts a lot of people's lives. He talked at length, the coach did, about the best staff and all the players, all the people.
Well, the players too.
Players
right.
too. Yeah. But the staff in particular, because they move their families down here. They uproot, they come down, they create, with the idea they're going to be here for a couple of years with some stability. No one knows what's going to happen with all of those guys, but it does. This is not we'll just fire him. Well, because in a sense, you're firing part of the people that he brought down here. Because,
Many of them.
Right,
Yeah.
because a new coach will come in and will bring some of his own people. So it's a cascading effect, and it's not something you can take lightly.
Yeah, and the moral of the story is this wasn't the plan. Back
No,
in January, we were
it wasn't.
optimistic and excited for this year, the number one overall pick. And it seems like this week was really about collecting information for Shad Khan. You spoke to him on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It is now Thursday. A lot has happened in 3 days, though, and he had to make this decision. It was time.
Well, remember, Shad's an engineer at heart.
Yep.
So he is not an emotional. I mean, I can't say he's not emotional, but my point is in decision making, he doesn't believe in quick trigger, like he said. He doesn't believe in helter skelter. He has believed in that since the day I first met him back in 2011, and he made changes when he first got here, but they were not ones he took lightly. He wants to know why things work the way they do, what the outcome is, and so it takes him a while to make those decisions compared to what people on Twitter would be doing, because he wants to make sure it's right and it's for a logical reason.
A little while ago, you alluded to the fact that you didn't know what the trigger was. I mean, and none of us do. I'll tell you what my trigger was yesterday, Trevor Lawrence, when he stood at the podium and took this thing by the horns. He grabbed this franchise and put it on his shoulders with his comment, and I think you've got it ready to play. I mean, I almost stood up and cheered because he's even better than I thought he was, right? I knew what kind of person he was based on, my limited interaction with him and what I know of him. I'm still wildly optimistic about the kind of player that he's going to be. But a rookie quarterback doesn't have to step into that fire and say that, right? It would be just as easy for him to go, hey, that's above my pay grade. I'm a rookie. I've got 2 wins. I've thrown 1 touchdown pass. I had 4. I mean, he could say anything. But he stepped into the breach and said, we can't have this.
Yeah.
Done. At that moment, I knew it was Trevor 100% of the way.
Yeah, I said on Huddle Up last night, Shalyn, it was a stunningly bold statement for the quarterback to make, especially a rookie quarterback. And when I said stunningly, because I think what Brian's alluding to, it didn't change how you looked at Trevor Lawrence, but it galvanized it into, this kid's the guy. Yeah. And you knew he was the guy, but
it's solidified now.
Yeah, I mean it was everything, as the kids like to say these days.
Yes, he was impressive yesterday at the podium, so let's take a listen.
I feel like I've had to a little bit, obviously, as the quarterback. People look to you, especially offensively and just in the team. And, we have a lot of leaders, but still being the quarterback, it's important to be outspoken and say what you believe, say what you think, what's on your mind. And I've learned how to do that more, and also just how to navigate different obstacles. So it's been a year where I've grown a lot for sure.
The question was, Trevor Lawrence, have you grown as a leader this season? And that is so obvious, especially after last week when he came to the podium and said, James Robinson is one of our best offensive players. He needs to play more. That's what started this, and we haven't seen it go back since.
So if you're confused, if you're upset, I think people who are watching, based on what you've said about Twitter, I think people, they were ready to see something change because they're tired of watching a team just play like this one has. But the quarterback is the reason for intense optimism. He's so good. They'll fix this. They've got cap room. They've got draft picks. They've got to go get the right guy now to come in and fix it. And there are right guys, and we could talk about them. We will be talking about that a lot.
Yes.
We all have names.
Lots
in
of
our
lists
head.
coming up.
Right, without a doubt. But the reason that this is an incredibly attractive job is that quarterback. And it doesn't help they're building a $200 million practice facility or $190 or whatever it is.
Yep.
As soon as this season is over, this is going to be a really attractive job to a lot of people.
And a ton of cap space and an owner that isn't afraid to spend money.
You bet.
This is a good job.
You bet.
Yes.
Yes, I agree. When we come back on Jaguars Drive Time, some big things here on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jags Drive Time is brought to you by TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
You can step up to luxury now.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Whatever you're driving, you can step up to luxury now. Plus, get our Fields amenities, which include complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes.
Make this your year to step up to luxury at Fields Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Land Rover, Jaguar, and Lexus. When it comes to the ultimate car buying experience, there's only one name that matters: Fields. And Fields matters because you matter. The Fields Auto Group, proud partners of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
This segment of Jaguars Drive Time has been brought to you by Fields Cadillac of Jacksonville and Fields Cadillac of St. Augustine, members of the Fields Auto Group. Fields matters because you matter.
You're always going to have some form of drama. I've learned that even just the NFL is just more drama in general than college, no matter where you're at. But you're right. I mean, there's been a lot, and yeah, to your point, I do think that has to change, and that's something that we need to work on for sure. So you can't always be in the headlines. You just got to go play football, and that's where we're trying to get, and I have no doubt we'll get there.
You can't always be in the headlines. You just have to go play football. That was the money quote from Trevor Lawrence yesterday. I thought his most impressive quote of the day.
Magnificent.
Well, and he kept being asked about it, and he said it in different ways, and then he put it all. I mean, it was, I'm a writer. I wouldn't have changed a word because of exactly what he wanted to say, and it resonated. I don't think that was the trigger point either, but it made the point.
Absolutely. You can watch the full Trevor Lawrence press conference on Jaguars.com as we get into big things. And big thing one, would you look at this, is win. This is the most winnable game on Sunday. Yes, there's a game on Sunday, believe it or not, against the Houston Texans at home. And this is the most winnable game left on the schedule. This morning, I have confidence that I didn't have yesterday that the Jaguars will win on Sunday, believe it or not. Yes, it's winnable, but you always see when a coaching change happens, there's that spark. I think the Jaguars win on Sunday, so we'll talk more about that. Big thing, too, is run the ball. If you can't win, if you can't run the ball, the Jaguars haven't run the ball effectively since they beat the Bills 7 weeks ago. Wouldn't it be something? Wouldn't it be a headline if that guy, James Robinson, had 2 rushing touchdowns on Sunday against the Texans? You can't rule it out. He's still dealing with that injury, but you'd love to see that for James Robinson. Big thing 3 is play with pride, especially for this defense and that guy, defensive coordinator Joe Cullen. They have played proud football since halftime in Seattle. This defense is playing really well right now, and Brian, right now it's all about, can the offense do their part? And you hope they can on Sunday.
Yeah, you want to get these guys off the field. What were they on, 33 minutes each of the last 2 games? Something like that? I mean, that's just, it's ridiculous. And if you can run the ball and use play action to help Trevor Lawrence, then you can get the defense on the sidelines and give them a chance to rest. They've been playing really well, despite the fact that they've been on the field a lot. So let's see what they do when they don't have to play to win, when they can just play, their brand of football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's been so much going on. I'm not sure we've mentioned that Darrell Bevel is taking over as the interim head coach, offensive coordinator. It'll be interesting on some level to see how he calls the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't anticipate it changing a great deal. I haven't watched this offense this year thinking, oh, this isn't Darrell Bevel's offense. But I don't really know what it'll look like with him calling plays. I don't even know if he'll call the plays. I don't know if Brian Schottenheimer is capable of doing that too, and they work in tandem. So those are some of the questions to find out. I lost my train of thought, so Schlin just asked me something.
Well, I'll say that. I expect them to come out on fire.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I expect this to be – you can look and point to a lot of reasons why this team might not play well on Sunday, and now all of a sudden they've been given an opportunity to have something to play for.
Absolutely.
Right? Besides just pride, to go out and play for the coaching staff, to play for themselves, one another, as Trevor has alluded to. I expect them to come out and play well on Sunday.
And that was going to be my thought, so thank
There
you,
you
Schlin,
go.
for resetting me. It happened in 16 when the team was playing awfully and Doug Marrone took over and they rolled the Tennessee team. It's still one of the most remarkable upsets that's happened in this building in a long time. A Tennessee team that was fighting for the playoffs and a bad Jaguars team rolled them. And it showed that team that it was not as bad as maybe it thought it was. And the next year they went to the AFC Championship game. A lot happened. That wasn't the reason. But when this happens, my experience is there's a freedom that players play with, but there's also it's a reset and a heads up that, this league isn't forever. Somebody is gone who is in your midst. So players say, well, this could happen to me. So they don't know now who's making decisions next year. So now the reality that how well you played goes on tape for people to see. So I didn't expect their worst before, but I expect their best on Sunday.
Well, you mentioned James Robinson, and we saw the interview that he did with Brent and Dan, and he had to be pissed off about the way that it went, even if that's not James' outward personality. I don't know how healthy he is, but I would think he would be a guy who would be fired up to get out on the field and have a big game. You know, there are other players. You can decide for yourself who they are that I think will be very motivated to get out there and just go, as John said, and play free.
Yeah, and this doesn't change what we talked about a lot yesterday on Drive Time, which is if you win this game, it doesn't change the mindset of the season. It doesn't save your season. It doesn't change the offseason picture, but it's a galvanizing moment. And right now, I think we all can agree that this team really needs that right now.
Well, and I was the one sort of banging the table that I didn't care. I frankly didn't care yesterday if they won or lost the rest of the season because I didn't feel like it was going to mean anything. But that changes now because if this team wins twice in the next 2 weeks and plays, they're playing New England in week 17.
You're right.
So that's a tough ask.
And the Colts are going to be playing for something at the end of the season.
If they play better in those games than they did in this last stretch against these competitive teams and win two, then I do think the players can legitimately walk around in the offseason saying, you know what? There's something here. We just got to build. I do think now that these last 4 games matter very much. I didn't feel like they did before.
Well, it's something to prove, right? It's a storyline that you can make the most of, and it's something to prove that there isn't that much work to be done, even though that's the national phenomenon.
Well, it's a blank slate, admittedly, right? Because now all of a sudden, the 2-11 got the coach fired, right? Now there are 4 games left before a new coach is hired. So these 4 games aren't defined by what happened before, and they won't define what's coming next. So they can just sort of exist in their own universe. Go do what you can do with those 4 games.
Absolutely.
I think the games are big for Trevor, too. We've been talking about Trevor. Again, I don't know how much the noise was affecting the boys on the field, if you will. I was trying to rhyme.
No, you did.
Nice.
Thanks, Dr. Seuss.
I don't know how much that had to do with it. But if in these last 4 games he plays well, if there's a marked difference between that and the last 5 or 6 games, people say, "Oh, it was Urban's fault." I don't care about that part, but it would certainly reset how he's going to feel and how the team feels about him going into the season. Although, as soon as I say the last part, I think the team believes in him strongly. And when I say the team, I mean the players. I know the franchise does. Right. I think the players still believe in this guy without question. Absolutely.
When we come back on Jaguars Drive Time, some he will, he won't, he might, here on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jags Drive Time is presented in part by Dreamfinders Homes, homes that fit your lifestyle, and Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good.
You can step up to luxury now.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Whatever you're driving, you can step up to luxury now. Plus, get our Fields amenities, which include complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes.
Make this your year to step up to luxury at Fields Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Land Rover, Jaguar, and Lexus. When it comes to the ultimate car buying experience, there's only one name that matters: Fields. And Fields matters because you matter. The Fields Auto Group, proud partners of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinder specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Move day is on the 20, the 10. Yes, another successful move to a new home. I tell you, folks, I've never seen a team more prepared than the Move Day crew. With a dominating lead in training, trust, and moving efficiency, it's no wonder why Move Day is the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Track your goods online and get updated play-by-plays throughout your move process. While the Jags are moving the chains on game day, they're here to help you on moving day. Call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit MoveDayMovers.com.
We're back, Jaguars Drive Time. It is Thursday morning, brought to you by the Fields Auto Group, and it is time for some he will, he won't, he might going into Sunday's game against the Texans. It kind of seems like there isn't a game right now with all of this breaking news, but there is indeed a game in 3 days, and we're going to talk about it right here on Jaguars Drive Time. So, Brian.
I'll go with Josh Allen. He gets a rookie quarterback. We've seen Josh Allen a bit this year. We haven't seen as much as we thought we were going to see. This is a game he gets healthy, and he will have a massive impact on the game. He won't be stopped. In other words, he's just going to keep coming and coming and coming. Whether he lines up against Larry Tunsil, they're very good left tackle who's been injured, or whether he flops over to the other side. I mean, it's just going to be Josh Allen all day. And he might have 2.5 sacks. Might have the kind of game he had against the Bills, because the Texans don't run the ball very well, and they have a rookie quarterback back there, and I think it sets up beautifully for Josh Allen to have a statement game of his own.
Yes, that would be awesome, especially for a guy like him at home in front of the fans. You want that for him.
You bet.
I went with another linebacker, inside linebacker, Damian Wilson. He will continue to play at a high level, and Urban, before he left, when he was talking about Damian Wilson this week, made some good points that he may have played his best game of his career last week. The good news for Damian Wilson and for Jaguars fans and the team is that game didn't strike me as being that much better than some of the games that he's played. So I think he will remain consistent. He won't ever get headlines. It's easy to overlook inside linebackers in a 3-4 defense, but he deserves some credit. He came in here, not a high-profile free agent signing. Came in, clearly they believed he was a better option than Joe Schobert. They traded Joe Schobert, and he has played at a very high level. And he might, I can't even remember. He might something.
He might play so well that the Jaguars win.
He might have a really big game because, as Brian said, this is not a great running team.
Yeah.
And if you stop the run against this team and really get them locked down, you can hold this team from scoring for a long time. So he might be key to this week.
All right.
Might.
Here is something. I had he will, he won't, he might. Darrell Bevel as my guy yesterday at around 3 o'clock. So
that might have changed.
I am on it this week. Darrell Bevel will run the offense his way. Will this offense look different? We don't really know because we don't know how much Urban Meyer had a say in who was playing, who was benching. We don't know, and I don't think we'll ever know what truly happened with that. But we're going to see this week what what Darrell Bevel's offense truly is like. He won't pound his chest. We believe we're going to see him at a press conference later on this afternoon. He's not the guy that's going to pound his chest and say, I'm the head coach now, look at me. This is a pretty quiet, calm guy, and I think that's exactly what the Jaguars need right now. And he might have a chance to absolutely galvanize this team. I don't think this team is necessarily going to play because Darrell Bevel is the head coach right now, but it's a chance for them. And this might be the guy that is perfect for the Jaguars right now, a cool, calm, collected coach who has a lot of experience with the Detroit Lions. So, yeah, let's see what he can do.
Yeah, we haven't talked a whole lot today about Darrell Bevel, and that kind of happens when you have a coaching change. You talk about the guy who's leaving. But he did this last year. I think it was for 5 games last year at the end of the season with
Detroit. Yeah.
I think that number's right. If it's not, I apologize. So he's been there. He knows it. He's been a coordinator. I think it's 14 years in the league. Yeah. He's been around. He knows it. As every offensive coordinator will tell you, fans, if the offense isn't going right, the fans, the offensive coordinator's whatever. He doesn't have a lot to work with offensively this year. There's a lot of limitations there. but he is very capable of doing the job that he's being asked to do for the last month, Brian.
He may call the plays more freely without
Right.
the other guy
We have no
in the
idea how this is
headset.
gonna change.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it bears mentioning. Urban came from college. Darryl has been in the pros. So there's
For
a way of
years.
doing things, and Urban had his way and Darryl has his. So you might see a different flow to it. They're running the same plays with the same players, as John said. That hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
But you may see something, it may feel different to you. The results may be different because Darryl is doing it his way and not Urban's way.
Yeah, I could imagine there's more of a freeness to it where you know exactly what's happening and you see the history of this is a guy that has done this for a really long time. So we'll see.
You see the old Statue of Liberty on the first play of the game, you know it was him.
And that is He Will, He Won't, He Might, presented by Move Day. Move Day is Jacksonville's most dependable and caring local moving company. Move Day is proud to be the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. To get a free instant quote, call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit movedaymovers.com. We'll be back on Jaguars Drive Time.
You can step up to luxury now.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Whatever you're driving, you can step up to luxury now. Plus, get our Fields amenities, which include complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes.
Make this your year to step up to luxury at Fields Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Land Rover, Jaguar, and Lexus. When it comes to the ultimate car buying experience, there's only one name that matters. Fields. And Fields matters because you matter. The Fields Auto Group, proud partners of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com. This season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for football watching. Just look for 20-ounce Pepsi products in the cooler door at your local Gate convenience store and see how you could win an exclusive VIP experience at the Jacksonville Zoo and an opportunity to eat lunch with a Jaguars player. Eat with a big cat. Courtesy of Pepsi and Gate. No purchase necessary. Visit jaguars.com/zoo for official rules and details. Ends 12/31/21.
Jaguars Game Day Radio is brought to you by ViStar Credit Union. Do good, bank better. Jaguars Drive Time on a Thursday brought to you by Fields Auto Group, getting ready for a home game this Sunday against the Houston Texans, and we are predicting the headlines that we will be talking about Monday morning. Maybe they're a little more optimistic, a galvanizing moment. We'll see, but Brian, what do you got?
All right, to the tune of Mariah Carey, All I Wanted for Christmas.
Wanted.
Right? It's the Sunday before Christmas. I think it's going to be a resounding win. I think there will be smiles all over the place, players, coaches, fans. It'll be it'll probably be a picture of someone like John used to with a Santa hat on and All I Wanted for Christmas.
Like a little Jingle Bell Rock in
Yeah,
the
kind of thing.
background, playing off the
Absolutely,
field
right.
type of deal. Wow,
Sure.
I'm there for that.
I can see that. And the game we alluded to before, I think, was right before Christmas, the Tennessee game in 16.
Yep. It was right after Christmas. No, you're right. It was the weekend
I
before.
kind of feel it being like that. My headline, Schlin, is that was a cat roar. Because I think they're going to
It has to be like
roll this weekend.
16-point type.
Remember the old I don't know if they still do it in the stadium or not because you can't really hear in the press box, but they do the little.
They still do that, yeah.
I think
Actually,
they're
it's
going to
Ashlyn
play
with the
well.
microphone doing that.
It's normally me making the sound effect.
And this is a team that they should be able to beat. So I think you're going to see them play free. I think they're going to play well. I think they're going to win. So.
How do you spell that? Attempt.
R.
All right, I've said this word, I think, 12 times this show. Galvanize in bold undercase, bold capital letters. Underline is what I was trying to say. This is a moment for the Jaguars, just like you mentioned in 2016. I wasn't here, but everyone talks about that game. Yep. So have another game just like that. Why not? Let's bring some optimism to Jacksonville, shall we?
I think people are feeling it this morning.
Everyone deserves a nap. Nice, Joe. That's exactly what we were talking about. That is Jaguars Drive Time on a Thursday. Thank you for tuning in. Stay with us on Jaguars.com for all the press conferences and news today throughout the weekend. We'll see you right back here Monday morning on Jaguars Drive Time.